His chances. Oh, brilliant goal! A brilliant goal! Remember the name, Wayne Rooney.
Pirlo, ancora Pirlo di tecco, tiro,
Andrea Pirlo will take, and it's volleyed, and it's in. A goal in 50 seconds from Milan. Oh, would you believe it? Paolo Maldini, the skipper, has scored it. Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
Episode 7, Footy Fans Podcast. The boys are back. Andrew, Santo, and Joe. We had a much anticipated weekend of footy coming up this week, and it did not disappoint, boys.
No, it was definitely, I think, the most exciting week so far, and we got a lot to talk about.
Tons. Yeah, I mean, from big matches to surprise matches to just really competitive matches all around across the league. There was tons to talk about. Obviously, the big one, City and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the most entertaining of games.
Yeah, in terms of like chances and kind of end to end, like big things happening. But yeah, just solid forms by City overall, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty solid midfield battle, I think, for the most part. And like you said, the chances are few and far between from both sides. But I mean, obviously, City did capitalize when they had the chance to, and Chelsea was they were thwarted many times by the City defense and midfield. I mean, it was a class effort from them. Pep obviously had his boys prepared for this one.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get anything going from the Chelsea perspective.
No, I think it was a lot like what we've experienced Chelsea do to City recently. I mean, every time I've seen Chelsea play City since Tuchel took over, it's just been real domination from a Chelsea perspective, and he just always seemed to have Pep's number. But on this occasion, I don't know what really happened, but Chelsea had nothing. And, you know, we talked about it before where Lukaku was just a pylon, really, and a spectator for a lot of what was going on. And they just couldn't get him any service and couldn't really be Lukaku during the game.
I think that's, I don't know if, well, he probably did plan this, but I think Pep's focus maybe was like prevent Chelsea from playing their game. Versus, you know, maybe the other encounters where like, hey, we're going to go out, play our game, and like we'll beat them. I think this, especially with the way they were pressing, they're like, hey, we got to like stop their momentum, stop whatever they're trying to do. And then from there, they were like building on it.
Yeah, it's a good point, because most games, like, City would be the aggressor, maybe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like when it comes to the pace of play,
or
when it comes to like the game plans, like City always has their game plan, and usually teams have to adjust to them. But I feel like in this game, you're right. City might have actually adjusted to how Chelsea plays more, just to be able to lock down that midfield. Because if you give Lukaku the service that he requires, he's going to convert. You know, you give him 5 chances, he's going to score at least 1.
Yeah,
maybe even 2.
Yeah, totally agree. And you know, obviously, we're never going to know what Pep's like full in-depth game plan was going in, but I kind of like seeing that where, you know, Tuchel's had his number for the last 4 encounters they've had in these big matches, and you know, new season comes along and he just has his number right at the start, and we'll see if it continues in the second encounter between these two later in the year.
Yeah, we'll have to see. One thing I'm concerned about Chelsea, like if they can't find a way to get Lukaku in big games, that might be something that, you know, stops them from winning the league. We'll have to see.
Yeah, so in this one, he started Lukaku and Werner up top together, which I think was the first time this year that they've done that. It was Werner's first start of the season. He did make a Carabao Cup appearance
right
earlier in the week against Aston Villa, which they actually won, and he scored. Trying to get the lineup here.
I'm curious why.
Yeah, so sorry, he started 2 up top. He started Lukaku and Werner up top, which Tuchel basically, since he's been there, has he's had 1 striker.
Yeah.
Whether it's a false 9 player like Havertz or Werner, it's been mainly a one striker up top, and then since Lukaku's been there, he's been the main target guy, and they have 3 guys drop behind him, where it's usually either Mason Mount or Havertz or Ziyech or Hudson-Odoi. But this game, he just loaded up the midfield, played his 5 across the middle, with the 2 wing backs being able to drop back, and Reece James and Marcos Alonso. But I don't know why maybe he was just maybe scared of the way that City was going to come at them and play, because I don't think City changed their formation.
No,
they've always rocked the 4-3-3.
Never seen Pep change his 4-3-3 ever.
So I think by Tuchel kind of breaking a little bit maybe in his, I don't know, like his consistent way of starting the lineup, maybe that did show a weakness in him, and maybe he said, okay, maybe I am a little bit scared of City here and what they're going to do. So he maybe broke first and said, okay, we're going to adjust our game plan to what City does. But then by doing that, they hurt themselves going forward.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like I said, Tuchel's had Pep's number last 4 encounters, so I'm not sure why he would want to change his really game plan going forward of all the times they played against each other. But evidently, in this case, it didn't really work out. But obviously, it's easy for us to say after we watched the game.
Yeah, if they would have won the game, it would have been like, oh, it would have been like,
what a smart
great
play by Tuchel.
Yeah,
brilliant play by Tuchel, right?
But it's tough. If, like you said, if they've played City 3 or 4 times, they won all of them. I don't know why because I believe Chelsea played a 4-3-3 those matches as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because they never had one guy up top being like a center focus point.
Yeah.
So they did play 3 at the top, with usually the center player being more of like a rover, like a false 9.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. It'd be great to hear what Tuchel's plan was, playing Lukaku and Werner at the same time. But
well, you took the starting lineup right here. There's no creativity in that midfield.
That was my other point. They, you have Jorginho who can pick a pass, Kovacic as well, but it's tough. You need that number. It's very tough to play against good teams without that number 10.
Yeah. Like creative force.
Yeah.
Somewhere. It's got to come from somewhere. You just got like 3 solid guys who, are really good defensively. Obviously, they're good going forward, but you don't have like a Kevin De Bruyne version of someone on Chelsea to really create stuff for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure why Mason Mount wasn't available for this match. Was he injured? Is that what it was?
Mount and Pulisic.
Okay, yeah, Pulisic that injury is starting to feel more serious than first thought.
Yeah,
because he's starting to miss more and more weeks, and I don't think he's even back training yet.
Yeah,
so that's kind of a concern for them, because he's obviously one player that can change the game for them.
Who they have on the bench? I'm curious. Maybe that was the reason, unless Ziyech and Havertz.
Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, Havertz came on later on.
They could have.
I thought Havertz would start this game. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Havertz has been playing well. I mean, I would have went with a 4, especially at home. But
they played. This is a very conservative lineup.
Yeah,
or
you're
formation.
playing with 5 defenders.
Yeah, it's huge. Like I said, like Werner didn't really he ran around a lot. Give him that credit, but I mean, he didn't really produce much.
Yeah,
and I mean, this is obviously the biggest game that Lukaku has played so far for Chelsea, the most high-profile match, and he didn't live up to his billing.
Yeah,
not total fault of his own, like we said before. Like the service, like if you have no service as a striker, like what can you do?
Yeah, especially when City's having the possession they usually have.
Exactly.
What are you supposed to do, right? You're just really running around
and from the first, from the jump of this match, like Chelsea had no time on the ball. And one thing I noticed too was that both sides were pressing when the back line, like when the defenders or the goalkeeper had the ball, both sides were pressing really hard. But with City, they were almost like man marking 10 players on the field. It goes wild. Like, I mean, like usually, you're told to like keep your shape, keep your form, like when you're defending, and they play more of like a zonal defense. But City was literally like marking player for player. Yeah. And like they sent one guy on the goalkeeper every single time. Like Mendy had to kick the ball away pretty quick sometimes. And on the flip side, when Chelsea was pressing City, they didn't get as far as the back line.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really put a lot of pressure on Laporte or Diaz.
Yeah.
They kind of stayed like ahead of them a little bit and played more like midfield pressure. But when City was pressing, it was like they're on Rudiger, they're on Christensen.
Yeah.
That's what Quetta. Mendy had to get the ball away quick and turn the ball over sometimes and put it out of play. And that seemed to hurt Chelsea. And like that's kind of like a newer style. Like I think Liverpool really adopted that a couple seasons ago under Klopp. Like the high press, which we don't see normally from like a top side. Usually that's more of like a bottom side thing.
Yeah.
To try and gain possession back. But there was time after time where, like I said, Mendy kicked it away or Azpilicueta kicked it away. I think Marcos Alonso had like a howler of a game. Like I think he was caught out of position sometimes. He seemed like a little bit weary on the ball, a little bit weak on the ball. He turned it over a few times that kind of cost them, or could have cost them if City would have converted more chances.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to get forward, and that's credit to obviously Pep and the way that he set up his team.
Yeah. And that's the danger with a 3-5-2. If the other team's pressing well, your wingbacks almost have no chance to get up the field. I can't remember Reece James and Alonso getting up the field. So if you're playing against a team that knows how to press, you're basically playing with like a flat 5.
Yeah,
and you're not going to get forward. You're
it was hard to watch, honestly.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of it does go to credit to how City do work it out of the back, because a lot of times they want a team to press, which I think, we talked about it before with Ederson. I don't think he gets a lot of the credit that he deserves, even though he does still get a lot of credit. I think a lot of it has to go down to him and how City basically invites this high press from other teams just so they can work it out of the back almost seamlessly, 90% of the time. And then they're basically on a counterattack with this team just from maintaining possession in their own third. So maybe Tuchel was really weary of that and maybe gave instruction to his players not to do that high press on Ederson and Diaz, just so they wouldn't get caught out on that counter from City.
Well, I think that's one, we always talk about how teams just start pressing from the back, and a lot of people don't know why teams are pressing, and sometimes they don't even know why they're playing out of the back. But it's so dangerous if you don't have good center backs and a keeper that can see a pass. Like, you watch City play, how many times does the player press Ederson? Almost never. Because they're like, if I go press him, he can easily see a pass right by me, so they almost don't even try to.
And that might be why like Chelsea didn't do that, but in doing so, you're giving them so much time.
I know,
right?
There were so many times you just saw like a 20-yard pass just to like in the midfield.
Yeah, like a player like Werner would like approach either Diaz or like Walker if he had the ball, but then as soon as they went back to Ederson, they just backed off.
Yeah.
On the flip side, if it was Azpilicueta playing it back to Mendy, Gabriel Jesus was like on his ass. Like he just continued his run. And like Mendy would just kick it away and like either turn possession over or get lucky maybe and be able to go out from the back.
Well, because they know, like, from Chelsea's perspective, they're just going to kick it up and City's going to get possession again. So they know that press is going to be worth it, and then they can relax in possession. Whereas if you have, a player pressing Ederson and you have two players pressing your center backs or your D, Ederson's going to make one pass and take 4 of your players out of the game, and then you're toast.
Yeah, if you just look at the game stats right here, 15 shots to 5 in favor of City, 4 on target, none for Chelsea. Possession not even close, 59 to 41. Passes for City almost doubled, or almost by 200 more.
Yeah.
And corners the other big one, 13 to 4 in favor of City. So in every attacking statistical way, City outplayed Chelsea in this game, and it also showed during the match. It wasn't just numbers. It was a big disconnect in the game there. Yeah, I think it just boils down to Tuchel being very conservative this game. I think Havertz, again, he probably could have and should have started. I thought it was strange that he did put 2 strikers up top for some reason. It didn't work out at all. I mean, I think Werner, he dropped back a little bit more, and Lukaku might have played like a high line, but Werner didn't really get service either. Like maybe they're trying to use him as the link between the midfielders and the forward. Yeah. But it just didn't work out. I mean, he got swarmed whenever he had the ball as well. So, I mean, kudos to Pep and the squad. They obviously had a goal out there. They obviously spent a lot of time on the training ground prepping for this match, and they did it to perfection. I mean, the goal wasn't the greatest. I'll say that.
No. I mean, it could have been more.
It could have, yeah. I mean, Chelsea maybe had like one chance to score.
Right.
Like, it wasn't, I mean, I kind of can't remember, to be honest, but like, because there's such little chances. But maybe they could have scored 1 somehow, but then City easily could have scored 3.
Yeah.
So this game's scoreline could have been way different. Ends up being 1-0. Gabriel Jesus scoring off a deflection. Cheeky little turn at the top of the 18.
Honestly, didn't think he had a lot of options there, but
no, he was swarmed too.
Off Silva, unlucky, and finds the back of the net.
Yeah, it's unlucky for Mendy, who's actually had a really good start to the season. Even Kepa too. You guys see Kepa playing the last couple of games for Chelsea?
Well, I've seen that he has been playing.
Whew.
But
Boys.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to start fighting for the top spot here, but he's not doing that. He's not doing that bad.
Solid number 2 option.
Not doing that bad. Oh, yeah, $80 million. He better do pretty good.
Yeah, he's got to start showing something, or they're going to get a loss for that signing.
So with that victory, City actually went to the top of the table up until the Liverpool match that took place later on in the game. Later on in the day, sorry.
Howler.
Yeah, Liverpool 3-3 draw
against Brentford.
Against newly promoted Brentford. Brentford might
having
be
a
like
heck of a season right now.
Boys, is Brentford the new Leicester City?
Well,
I think
they
gain
got some
promotion and just start getting results.
First, they gotta get to the top of the table, then they gotta stay there.
They gotta stay
through
there
Christmas.
They're ninth. I mean, top 10 for a
Yeah.
new promoted side. Nothing to slouch
I
at.
mean, probably not. I mean, the year Leicester won, like obviously no disrespect to Leicester, that was a crazy season.
Did they get promoted then win? Or
They
is it
got promoted,
stayed.
Almost got relegated, then won.
Okay.
And they were kind of because everyone was having like a tear, like for whatever reason, Arsenal. That's when their decline started. City had a terrible year. Liverpool had a terrible year. I think
was that Pep's first season?
How much did they win the
That was
league by?
Pep's first season.
That was Pep's first season.
Yeah, he had a stinker.
It
his
was
first
like
season.
it was the perfect storm for Leicester because I think they only won with 86 points. I think
It was, I'm pretty sure it was the lowest, if not one of the lowest,
Yeah.
a team's ever won the
David
Premier League
Moyes' first season
with.
with United, or is that Van Gaal?
That was a long time ago. I
When
think
did
I
they
want to
win?
Yeah,
say
I mean, it feels like it was 10 years ago. It was
It
only
was a
like
while
5 or
ago.
something.
no. I want to say I want to say it was Moyes,
who?
but it could have been Van Gaal.
Saying United's manager when Leicester won.
I'm checking right now.
But yeah, I mean, it was funny because I was actually looking into it a little bit, and just with the players that Leicester recruited, and kind of just the form they were in,
81
and
points.
how like poor everyone was doing. It was like Joe was saying, it was just like a perfect recipe for that
Arsenal
story to
got
happen.
second that year. Yeah, they had 81 points. They drew 12, lost.
No, I know
3.
you're tripping. Arsenal got second.
Well,
Yeah, it was
no,
a
because
crazy year.
It was the
That is an
season
off
when
season.
Man U, Liverpool, Chelsea all didn't make Champions League. That was it was ideal for them. They're just the ones that grinded it out the hardest, obviously.
Well, because it was neck and neck with Tottenham for a little while, and I think
Yeah,
Tottenham just really dropped off and
When
dropped some games when Leicester actually won the title. So then they just dropped a little bit because I think they already secured Champions League at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been just like managerial stuff where Leicester won. You already make Champions League. You're going to rest some guys and give some playing time to other players.
Yeah, that was a wild year.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
man.
was.
Pep coach of Man City then?
I think that was the most
Yeah,
committed
I
I
believe that
was
was his first
seeing
season.
a team play every week.
Leicester?
with
I
Leicester,
know.
we
It
got to
was
see if
must
this
watch.
happens.
I was turning off Chelsea games to watch Leicester instead.
Well, yeah, because
I had
the
to.
greatest story. You were
Chelsea
experiencing
was
the-
playing like crap. I'm like, we'll finish like 6. I don't
Yeah.
care.
I think I knew they were
Greatest
going to win. Not knew they were going to win, but when they beat City 4-1, that was, okay, what's
I
going
know,
on
it's
here?
like something's happening.
Yeah.
I know we're getting off topic, but who was the Asian like striker that they had? Okazaki?
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't. What was that thing in Ted Lasso when you say a word to lose its meaning?
Aces?
Yeah, aces.
Aces.
No, Shinji Okazaki.
Is that who
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah,
He
that's
was
him.
sick.
I know.
Yeah.
It was clockwork.
He was such
man.
an X
Yeah,
factor.
and
They were
literally the same thing.
lineup, and then they would take
He came
off
on-
Okazaki.
No,
and
he would
put in-
come on or something. Wouldn't
No,
he?
they would replace Okazaki and
Vardy.
Vardy.
Where is he at now? Scroll down.
Cartagena.
That's weird.
I don't know.
Spain.
And they would always take off Okazaki in like the 70th minute and toss on Ajoa.
Yeah, it was
Clock,
literally the
That's who
same.
it was.
It
Yeah.
was
Clockwork.
honestly the same thing every game. Same lineup, same substitutions.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
I mean, when
works,
you're in a
works.
rhythm, you have to
Yeah.
keep doing it. I'm all for, it's really good if you got the same guys playing, the same 11 playing week in, week out. It really, really helps with the flow of what you're trying to do, no matter who you're playing. So credit to, what's his name? Ranieri for
Yeah.
sticking to his guns, like we're same game plan every game. I don't care who we're playing.
Yeah,
I mean, I just love watching Okazaki play. He was such a grinder.
Mm-hmm.
And he scored. He got goals for them too. Like timely goals. He only scored 14 in his Premier League career for Leicester. But they were like 14 of like the most timeliest goals of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it reminds me of the game when I think they were playing Norwich and Ajoa comes on, scores in like the 90-something minute. And I think it was at that point for me, I was like, all right,
they're grinding out wins.
Yeah. It was like literally everything that had to happen for them was happening.
Yeah.
They were scoring late goals. They were getting 90-minute garbage time wins. They were like teams that around them were dropping points like crazy.
Yeah.
Like you said, like Chelsea and who else like didn't make Champions League?
Yeah, United, Liverpool, Chelsea all didn't make Champions
Like
League.
that's huge. I mean, for a team to boost to that level, like it just goes to show too, like a system can work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest system because of like. I mean, they
The
all they do is counterattack.
The
Like,
4-4-2.
like if they
counterattack long ball to Vardy and scoring goals from like 40 yards out.
that's
against
basically
Liverpool.
what it was, and it was the emergence of like Riyad Mahrez too and everything, and
Conte.
N'Golo Kante, Mark Albright, and that was there, and obviously at the back too, Kasper Schmeichel, man, he's one of my goalkeepers of like the last decade maybe in EPL or last 5, 6, 7 seasons. He's been so good for them.
Yeah, very
obviously
solid.
he's their captain now, and it goes to show, like I said, like a system can work if you can adapt to a system and just like day in day out put the work in. It really, really pays off, and I feel like that maybe is what Brentford has been doing this season with their promotion to the EPL. They're playing at the system that they've had. They've had some timely goals as well, and they've been able to grit out some pretty positive results against some pretty big sides. I know we said Arsenal first week wasn't, it wasn't the Arsenal that we were used to.
Right.
But it's Arsenal. So for them to walk in there and, put up a week 1 win against Arsenal was pretty big for their confidence. And then coming back down the stretch here against Liverpool in week 6 and putting up a 3-3 draw. Well deserved.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna, I think coming into, they got West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester, Burnley, and Norwich, the next 5 games. So another couple big matches coming up. We'll see where they're sitting after this, and then I think Christmas is going to be a big telltale sign. That's where the table really starts to take shape. So we'll see. Obviously it'd be amazing to see another massive underdog story happen. In this case, I really think it's going to be tough for Brentford to get any Europa spot or anything crazy, because me and Joe were talking before how competitive everything seems this season. Like, you got a lot of teams playing really well. So we'll see. But shout out to Brentford for the really good start.
Yeah. It was the 6th time the fewest points. It was the 6th
Sound it out.
tier of the fewest points to win the Premier League.
Okay.
Oh, when Leicester won?
I think so, because it was Manchester United got 80 points twice.
Wow.
That's nothing.
To win the
Man City
league.
hits that by, like,
They also got
March.
And who was it? They also got 79 points to win the league. Arsenal got 78, and the Man U also won. It was 75 in 1996.
Jeez. Now it's like century mark and above.
I know.
Yeah.
Now it's Liverpool gets 97 points, doesn't win the league.
Crazy.
Heartbreaking for Liverpool.
Just to go back to the Brentford-Liverpool match, do you guys think that this was, Brentford overachieving, or do you think Liverpool might have underachieved this game and they actually should have came away with a more positive result?
No, I think the way Brentford played, I think it was justified, I would say, because they went at them.
Yeah, they did.
Credit, and I always love to see that when a team from the first division comes up and just keeps playing their game and takes it to the big boys. And I think that's what they did, and they came out with a draw.
Well, like we said before too, like these newly promoted sides have nothing to lose because they're playing with house money. Like obviously, by getting promoted, they get a huge influx of funds coming in.
Yeah,
from either winning Division 1 or from getting promoted. I forget how it actually works. I don't know if they get money from Division 1 or if they get money from the EPL.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
I'm not sure how that goes.
That'd be good to look up, actually.
But just to sustain your spot in the Premier League is massive. Like, I feel like if you can place a top 15 spot in the EPL, it's almost more money than actually winning League 1.
Oh yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for Brentford to put this string of results ahead of them this early, it's huge because, they could obviously slide. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
But to get these positive results, and same as Brighton, I know they were promoted last season, but I mean, they're playing very, very well this season.
Yeah.
But for them to just like stay in the Premier League, that's just money being generated year after
It's
year.
huge.
Yeah.
And I forget who said this. I heard a commentator. He just basically said, you have to stay in the league.
Yeah.
You have to. There is way too much money for you to afford to go down. You have to stay up. But not everyone can.
No, I mean, have you guys seen Sunderland the last couple seasons?
No, what happened?
Well,
I haven't seen where they're now. I know
just
they did
doing
sliding.
really bad.
So they had a Netflix documentary that was put on a couple of seasons ago where it just like followed the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how Sunderland got chose for this. I think
It's a story.
it was Netflix that put it on, like a Netflix original series or something. But they just followed Sunderland, like they went, in every detail. They did behind the scenes in the transfer market. They were like with like the big boss, like in his office, like during transfer deadline day and all that stuff. And they were going through and like showing you like the people involved in the club and like where like from the players to management to like concession stands and people working behind in the kitchen for the players and all that stuff. It was really cool. It's really in depth.
Yeah.
Like, they showed the fans. They went to people's houses and the fans. It was really cool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that season in particular, Sunderland got relegated, so it kind of sucked for them.
Yeah.
I think they made an FA Cup semifinal or final. I can't remember, but they went to Wembley and they lost. I forget who they lost to, but they made it to Wembley, which was pretty cool for the fans, but they ended up losing. But then that year they got relegated, and so they're like, okay, next year we'll bounce back. They got relegated from League One the next season.
Like, how does that
So now they're in League
From
Two.
the championship, you mean?
Yeah, so I keep calling it
Yeah.
League One Championship. Yeah.
Championship. So, yeah, they're in League One right now.
So yeah, it goes EPL, Championship, League
League
One.
One.
Okay, that's what I meant. So they
Yeah.
got relegated to the Championship, and they're like, okay, we'll bounce back bigger this year. We'll be back in the Premier League. Don't worry about it.
League
Down to
One.
the League One now.
That's rough. Like,
You lose so much
relegated from championship.
Like,
Like
where?
back to
you
back
gotta
seasons. Like
do
you went from
pretty bad.
literally an EPL side who's been around for
Yeah.
the longest time. Like since I've been watching football, it's been
Yeah.
like Sunderland's always been in there.
Yeah, I've never not.
They
seen
haven't
them
done
there.
very good.
Yeah.
But Sunderland's always been part of the EPL. You drop to Championship and then right away to League One.
Yeah, like I don't know how that.
Like
would
you're
ever
just
happen.
cutting your
Mhm.
funds like every single time, right?
Yeah,
And like clearly you can't charge EPL money for a
No.
League One fixture against Wickham County. I don't even know, like
so, yeah,
Morecambe. I don't even know who's there.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many players left.
That too.
Right, it's it's the hardest thing ever. Right, you get relegated. All your players, well, I would say most of your players probably want to leave. So you basically have the caliber of a championship side at that point. So really, it's just your name and maybe a few of really committed players that are staying with you. And then, obviously, in this case, you get relegated and you have players leave again.
And they have one of the sweetest stadiums too, the Stadium of Light.
I know.
Oh,
It's like the best
one of the
name.
best names, one of the nicest stadiums too in England. And I mean, I don't know if they're going to pack full capacity for League One matches.
Yeah, that's tough.
And two, also huge, like a huge rivalry with Newcastle being their closest neighbors.
Yeah.
We're way off topic now.
Well, no, I mean,
But-
just looking in, Sunderland right now is sitting second in
Yeah,
the
I did check that actually recently.
League One table, tied 19 points with Wigan Athletic. That's the name you haven't
Wigan,
heard of
that's
in a
another
while. Yeah, I saw them.
Another
Then Bolton and Portsmouth, and wow.
Portsmouth. That's another Portsmouth team. I've heard them for a long time. David James.
Oh, yeah.
David James, the goalkeeper. He's
Yeah.
for Portsmouth and Tottenham.
And then Bolton, when the days of Anelka.
Nicholas
Anelka before the Chelsea move.
Yeah,
Feels like another life.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually.
man.
So yeah, hopefully
Wigan coming back.
Hopefully Sunderland can find a way back into the EPL, because they're just another one of those names that we haven't seen there, along with Wigan.
So with this Brentford Liverpool result, if Liverpool would have came away with the win, then they would have gotten way ahead of, well, not way ahead, but they would have gotten significantly ahead of City and Chelsea.
Yeah.
City, by winning their match against Chelsea, climbed to the same amount of points. Goal differential is one higher than Chelsea, so they did move into second place. We did expect Liverpool to maybe get the win here.
Yep.
And get a full 3 points ahead of second place Chelsea and City. And we thought also that United might climb ahead of Chelsea and City.
Yeah.
But clearly that was not the case, as they dropped 2-1 to
Aston
Villa. I mean, I feel like I put in the notes here. I feel like I've been watching tons of Villa and West Ham
Yeah.
the last couple of weeks, just because they've been playing like a lot of high profile games.
Yeah.
Like Chelsea obviously played West Ham or played Aston Villa recently. United played West Ham, I think, in Carabao Cup or something, or FA Cup, which I watched. So there's tons of those games going on. For this game here, it was funny too. I was watching the Chelsea City, both games being played at 7:30, the early game for us, and like they're cutting all the time to this match, just to show like big plays that happened, but they don't tell you until so it's kind of like how they do it on DAZN. They cut away from the match that you're watching, but they don't tell you what happens. So they show you the actual replay, like what happens in the game. They cut away, but they don't tell you if they scored. They don't tell you what it is.
Okay.
And they have the score at the bottom of the screen, but they don't change the score until whatever happens in the replay happens.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat. I'm watching these games, and I'm like, Villa could have scored twice, but you wouldn't know because they kept cutting to the game. And then finally, it wasn't until like the 88th minute that Villa finally gets the win there at United or against United.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was really rough for Bruno, Sky and a PK. Obviously, you'd expect him to score those, so he's not going to... I'm assuming his night was kind of rough on Saturday. But, those are the things I've mentioned this, I think, a few times where Man U struggles to pick up those points,
that they should.
These, no disrespect to Villa, but not against the top teams, right? They gotta find that consistency that Sir Alex brought way back when they would win all the games you'd expect them to win. It's really those make or break games against the top sides where it really comes down to it. Because if you're dropping points to the lower level teams, you're never going to expect to win the EPL.
Yeah. And I think I was thinking about this, like, Man U lose to Aston Villa, and there's this whole thing. It's like, same old Man U. But we've seen City lose to those teams as well. But I think the difference is, City is going to show up for those big games like they did with Chelsea. They're like, hey, this is a big game. We're expected to win. Like, we have to win this type of game for sure. And they always kind of bring that energy. With Man U, it's kind of hit or miss in those situations. Yeah. So, I think that's a little bit the difference.
Well, this season so far, United haven't had one of those big games yet.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, they're picking up victories against Leeds, draw against Southampton, win against Wolves, win against Newcastle. West Ham was a pretty enticing match that they had in the Premier League, and they actually bounced back against West Ham again midweek against for the EPL Cup, the Carabao Cup, and they lost against West Ham in that one.
Yeah,
and then another loss against Aston Villa here on back-to-back occasions.
Yeah.
Another game, or the first game Ronaldo did not score.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Premier League game.
Streak ended for CR7 this week. And they got a big match against Villarreal in the Champions League coming up.
Yeah, we'll talk Champions League in a little bit.
They do have some tough games coming up. Villarreal, Everton, Leicester,
Atlanta, and
Liverpool, and then Tottenham, and then Atlanta again, and then City. That's
what a stretch of games here.
Yeah, it's very tough.
So we'll say this again. So midweek, Villarreal, and then Everton on the weekend, and then I might be international break again.
Yeah,
for the first week of October, and they come back against Leicester, Atalanta again, Atalanta for Champions League. Come back 4 days later against Liverpool. Come back against Tottenham, Atalanta again, come back against City, and then against Watford in another 2-week span. So that might be like another international break. So from the beginning of October to the middle of November, they got City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Everton, Leicester. Plus, you mix in some Champions League games midweek.
Yeah,
might rest some players here and there, prioritize some players here and there. I mean, Solskjaer's got a lot on his plate here coming up.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe what worries me, because you're like, where are they going to drop points? Whereas, Liverpool, Chelsea, or City would probably be like, hey, this is the week we have to win all these games. Like, we have to win. I know United's going, like, obviously has that mentality too. I think it's just tough, especially with the amount of signings they made. Very hard to have that kind of cohesiveness to grind out kind of a grueling schedule. But, we'll see what happens. They could win all of them.
Well, Speaking of signings, they have a 73 million pound player on the bench.
Jaden.
That's barely played almost all season.
I know. I always wonder about what happens with these massive signings, and then you just toss them on the bench. You know, you can compare it to Grealish at City. Spent $100 million. He's played every game,
Every minute, almost every game,
and doing well.
So
I think
it's that questionable. Like, I don't know. You're trying to ease a player into the side. You signed Ronaldo. He's been playing every game. So I don't know. It has to do with maybe his age, but it's not going to do a lot for his confidence just sitting on the bench, and he has to get eased in. You know, it's a massive signing. He obviously wants to play. I don't really see a whole lot of benefit of keeping him on the bench. And you know, if he's going to be part of the team, I think it's one of those things. A lot of times you just got to like throw him in the fire and just start easing him in if it starts going like really bad. Yeah. I mean, you can never really afford for things to go bad at this level, but
I mean,
I don't know why he's just
really comes down to the manager. Like, you need a really, really good manager to get like a high profile signing and get him integrated into the squad well. You know, Guardiola, I think he does get a lot of, you know, slack, or City does in general. It's like, oh, oil money, they bring in all the best players. Like, you know how hard it is to get an ego into the team and have them integrated and playing well with everyone else? Super hard. He did it with, like, Mahrez could have easily... I'd be interested to see how many other teams Mahrez would have went to and flopped. He goes to City, like, plays a decent amount, doesn't do well for like the first several weeks, and now he's one of their key wingers. Same thing.
But even now, Mahrez is coming off the bench. He's barely starting matches because Grealish took that spot, and Gabriel Jesus on the other side has that spot. Well, same with Sterling.
Well, I think because they do have Champions League, because I know Sterling and Mahrez are playing in Champions League.
But if you're a world-class player like Mahrez is, and Sterling is, wouldn't you feel... I would feel pissed if I'm playing every 3 or 4 weeks for just Champions League matches. Yeah, Champions League is huge, but it's Champions League group stage.
Yeah.
Where, like, EPL, Premier League, you're playing week in, week out. Like,
and that's why...
Like, they have 36 games for Premier League.
Yeah. And that's why I think what Pep does is so impressive, because he keeps everyone invested, even if they're not playing So, you know, it's down to him. I don't know what he does to get in their players' heads, because they have such a deep, you know, for all you know, Bernardo Silva could like not play for 2 games, but he still goes on gives 100% the games he does. So, you know,
he's low key, like, really good.
I know. I love Bernardo Silva for City.
Like, he's like another one of those players who just does his job. Like, whatever he's like told to do that day, he's gonna go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
and you can count on him.
Yeah,
that's why when Joe told me there was some hints of him maybe going to Milan,
I was pissed. But then it fell through. I don't even know if it was true. It might have just been rumors.
Yeah, I mean,
he would have been huge at Milan.
Yeah.
Wait, Inter or AC Milan?
AC.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, that would have been something else.
He'd been massive there.
I think.
I think it comes down to like the rotation. I mean, they're one of the teams that want to win every single trophy every year. The only way I think you can do that at the highest level is to have the deep team that they have. So I think it's just everyone buying into that system. And that's really it. You know, you're not going to play in the EPL. You're going to play in Champions League. And Pep's just going to prioritize the team based on what he thinks.
But that being said, with playing in Champions League, we are still so early in it that it's just group stage. And obviously with United losing its young boys is a huge setback for them this early in the tournament. So now they kind of have to climb their way back a little bit to get back into the top 2 spots. So what I always find interesting is that when coaches make changes for tournaments, either Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, whatever it is, they always make the adjustments like early on in the tournament, and then when it comes to like crunch time, they play the big guys.
Yeah. So
it's like from Sancho's perspective, okay, I'm getting these matches for Carabao Cup. I'm getting these matches for FA Cup. Champions League, sure, I'm starting in this game against young boys. But when it gets to like quarterfinal, semifinal, he might not play.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, from a confidence standpoint, it's like, I've been a part of the team to get us to this point, and now I'm not going to play, and I'm not playing the Premier League. Why am I here?
Yeah.
And he's still so young. Like, I don't even know how old he is, like 21 maybe?
Yeah.
Like, you got to work him in the side sometimes in these bigger matches.
Yeah.
Like he easily could have started this game over Greenwood. Like Greenwood, he's been in the side almost all season, I think, in the starting 11. Pogba as well. Obviously, I mean he's Pogba. He's not gonna go on the bench. Even if he did, he's not gonna go quietly.
No.
But I mean, just from their perspective, I feel like they could maybe change formation around a little bit, get him more involved, like put Pogba in the middle and play 4 out wide instead.
Yeah.
And like have Greenwood on the wing, Bruno in the middle, Pogba in the middle, Sancho on the wing. You also got Lingard there too. That's not getting time. Martial not getting any time. All 3 players did not come in this game.
Yeah.
Like obviously, if they would have gone down sooner in the match, like if they would have got scored against in the 70th minute, let's say, then I'm sure we would have seen Martial, Lingard, or Sancho. But going down in the 88th minute, you can't really
Yeah.
I don't know those guys on.
I didn't watch this game. I didn't know that was the starting lineup. I'm curious why they didn't play with, a true 4-3-3 with 3 good strikers.
Well, they've been playing Ronaldo in that striker spot, but have they been playing?
Well, because I don't know why you just don't
three
play
at the top usually.
Well, I don't know why you don't play a 4-3-3 and just put like Pogba, Fernandes, and McTominay, and then play with the Greenwood, Ronaldo, and whoever it might be, Sancho, Lingard, whoever. I don't know why you have to.
Yeah, so we're looking at the lineup here for United and looking at the formation for the first time. They played a 4 at the back, 2 defensive midfielders, 3 across the middle, and then Ronaldo up top. I mean, Pogba's not going to get wide.
No.
He's
So-
coming into the middle.
You're kind of losing that. I mean, Luke Shaw obviously does make overlapping runs like crazy.
Yeah.
And he's had a resurgence, man. Since the Euro Cup,
Yeah.
Luke Shaw has been like on a mission.
Yeah. It's good to see
show
him
his
back.
worth. Basically, since Mourinho left, I think because Mourinho criticized him for not being a good player.
Yeah.
whatever he said. You know how Mourinho talks and how he doesn't really care. He came out and said like Luke Shaw just like isn't good.
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to stick it to him. And obviously in the Euro Cup, he had a huge impact for England.
Yeah.
And he's trying to continue that for United this season. But
And it's good to see him back.
And it's
after
good to
that
see him back,
Bad injury.
Yeah.
Way back when against.
did he break his leg
Yeah,
or something?
he
or
broke his leg
tear or
really
something?
bad. No,
Yeah.
it was a really bad break, and I think he almost lost his leg.
That was for United, right? Like when he
Yeah.
first signed?
Yeah,
I think it was like his first season or something.
very early on, with his stint with United. But yeah, just really bad tackle against. I forget who they played.
Mm-hmm.
Champions League match, and yeah, broke his leg, and I guess he almost lost it. But
Wow.
credit to the doctors and surgeons on that. And now he's back, scoring goals in European finals.
Yeah, making a big impact for the team. So he clearly gets wide, and that's kind of what United does for their width and attack. I mean, Greenwood gets wide and cuts in, but I mean, Pogba being in that, like just looking at it from like a number standpoint and from a tactical standpoint, Pogba is not staying in that spot.
No.
Like he's obviously coming to the middle.
Yeah.
I would have played. We got 4 at the back. Played McTominay, Fernandes, Pogba in the middle, and then Greenwood, Ronaldo, and sure, play whoever.
Yeah,
but,
take your pick, but
play whoever on the left side. I think you can go at Villa and attack them, whoever might be
I
played.
always almost forget that Edison Cavani's on United.
I know, eh? I mean, he didn't start the season. I don't think. I think he was injured for the first few matches.
Van de Beek as well.
Donny Van de Beek has been like the forgotten puppy for United.
Like,
I mean,
what the heck?
coming in, making that signing last season, like he was talked about the young resurgence going to be for United.
Yeah.
Like another part of like that core, and he just hasn't played. I don't know if like he's had it out with Solskjaer or if he wants to develop it more. He's another player where it's like, okay, let's save this guy for Carabao Cup. Let's save him for round 2 of FA Cup.
If I'm a young player, before making a big move, I'm really looking at like, okay, who's the manager? Has he really taken in young talent and like developed it properly? Like you look at guys like Tuchel, Guardiola, even some of like the old, like Ancelotti, even like some of the old, like they can manage these kind of egos, but yeah, Man United is a big club, but are you really going to get that development from Solskjaer? It might be tough.
I know. I'd be so frustrated as a player. I mean, like, you got to think it's almost comparable to like hockey here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're the star of your local team, like whether you're playing for like Junior Spitfires or I don't know, Sun County or something, or Tecumseh Eagles. I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like the star. You're the stud.
Mm-hmm.
You score 40 goals a season. You get to the next level of competition, and now you're playing with the best players from their town on your team.
Yeah.
And you got to crack that side.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into like the third line. You get in the second line. And now you get drafted to like another league or something. And it's like now you get to play the best players in that territory. It's like, it's the same thing as like soccer. It's just crazy how like you go from being like the stud of your league or stud of your like low division team. And now you're playing with like giants of the game.
Yeah.
And you can barely crack the side.
Yeah.
It's like, that's gotta just weigh on your confidence so hard.
It's just the reality of it, really.
And I know it's nothing new. Like, I mean, that happens. It's been happening for forever.
Yeah.
But I mean, just, I feel like what's, like how young is too young? Or like how soon is too soon to leave your club to go to like go like a giant side like United or City or Chelsea or Barcelona? I mean, until you think you're actually good enough to make it, should you leave? Or should you just leave when the money's right?
I think you should leave. It really depends, like I said, what's their development like? Is the coaching staff going to be aware of the situation? Like, hey, this is a 20-year-old that's had a big signing. There's a lot of pressure on him. We have to, address the situation as it is versus, playing Van de Beek and Sancho occasionally on Carabao Cups is not the way to ease them into a squad, probably.
That's not development.
I know. That's not how you do it. What development looks like is what happened with Foden at City, because he was there for, I don't know, like how long was he technically in the first team? 6-7 years? Could have easily went out on loan, but Guardiola was like, no, like he's staying here. I know what I'm doing. And now he's, one of the key guys in the first team. So as a young player, I'm looking for those situations at a top club. Where am I not just going to disappear into the abyss and then like lose, all my confidence?
No, I mean, as a manager, you probably want to keep these guys, but as a player, I would even say put me on loan.
Yeah.
If I was
Sancho, Van de Beek, I would go on loan.
Yeah, Van de Beek for sure.
I would go on loan.
For sure, Van de Beek. But even someone like Sancho right now.
He's like, what am I doing here?
Put me on loan to some
put me on loan back
team
to
in
Dortmund.
Italy. Put me back to Dortmund. I'll actually play every single week. I'll make an impact.
Yeah.
I know, that's actually not a bad idea. Like, I wonder if they actually can do that. Well, I know they can do that, but I wonder if that's actually like an option.
Yeah, or else they're not going to get what they need out of them. Just
like you go from playing 35 weeks out of the season or whatever it is, 30 games out of the season with all competitions mixed, to playing like 3 games in the first 10 possible matches.
Yeah.
Like that's gotta be so tough, man.
Very tough.
And like you're hungry at that age. You're 21 years old.
Yeah. Last thing you want to be doing is sitting on the bench. I mean, any player, like last thing they want to do is be sitting on the bench. But especially when you make this massive signing.
And I almost feel like it's unfair sometimes to attach like the transfer fee to the player. Like if that makes sense. Like I know like player value is such a hard thing to actually evaluate and break down.
Right.
Because like obviously Sancho was a really good player at Dortmund, but I don't think he was like the best player at Dortmund. Like I don't think he was like the most valuable player to that team.
Right.
But clearly he was worth 73 million pounds.
Yeah.
But that number isn't based on his performance. That number is based on lawyers and agents talking and managers talking and all this shit behind the scenes.
Yeah, and him being from England, going to Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean everything was against him basically for this. Like it was huge, and it was during the Euro Cup that it happened.
You're right.
And then obviously what happened in the Euro Cup happened.
Yeah.
In the final. So it's almost like, I mean, 73 million pounds is nothing to slouch at. It's tons of money. But I feel like his actual value is probably less than that.
Right.
But he's always going to have 73 million pounds attached to his name.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this guy not playing? Why is he not performing? Why is he not scoring 20 goals for us in a season? Like he's worth all this money. He didn't make that number for himself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of feel for him in that sense. Because he probably is getting backlash from, the tabloids in England and people behind the scenes. But, I mean, just from us looking at it, like, I'd be so pissed if I was him, not being able to play more than he actually is.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens, as the season goes on. Because I do see if, especially him being so young, if things don't start changing. He actually gets into the side. Then we'll see if a loan deal happens to get him more integrated with the EPL. Because people always say that, like, oh, he's got to get used to the EPL.
You can't get used to the EPL.
If you don't play in the EPL.
Yeah.
you gotta get in games. Even and a good example was actually Guardiola with Cancelo. Because remember, everyone was like, "What the heck?" And he played left back too, like defender. You can't make any mistakes. He played a lot of games on D and did not play well.
Right.
And now he's crushing it. Key. One of the key guys. So I think that's what Guardiola does well. He gives people a lot of chances on the field, a lot of games, even if they're really like Mahrez was brutal when he got there.
I remember against Liverpool and he missed a
tons of mistakes but he kept playing games even though he was screwing up a lot. Same with Cancelo. And then that's how you get integrated. You just get used to it that way. So credit to that.
Man City definitely won that transfer between Cancelo and Danilo.
And someone, I remember someone actually, they're like, what is this signing? Like, was it even an upgrade? Like, what? They got Cancelo for money and that's it? And now it's like Cancelo's probably the best left back.
I don't know what the hell Juve was thinking of that one.
Yeah.
I think money was attached to it as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on.
Yeah, Cancelo
He's sick.
I know.
Well, was he this good at Juve?
He was, but he wasn't used the same way.
Yeah, I think he just fits into what Guardiola does.
With Juve, they didn't really do many overlapping runs. They didn't get the wingbacks involved as much.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, the talent was there. Like, you could see, like, when you're watching, like, you could tell that he was, a good player, like, class. But he just wasn't used properly. And then, obviously, going to City, Pep just eats that shit up and just
he honestly comes in and he's a right back, right? And the commentators say it all the time and I love it how he just comes inside and sometimes he's playing like a center midfielder sometime, picking up the ball, picking up passes like a center midfielder. And it's like, I don't think Walker's obviously a very different player than Cancelo, so you won't see Walker doing that a lot of times, but there's not a lot of teams that can have their right back or even their left back in terms of when City plays Zinchenko.
Yeah.
You have your outside backs that are capable of playing in the middle of the field, picking up passes and doing that job. So, it's just really positive.
Jesus is another example. When he was like in Sergio Aguero's shadow for forever.
Yeah.
Guardiola got him stuck around and now he was playing number 9 actually scoring like good goals. Now he's like found a new spot on the right side and he's
just a right
rushing
now.
Just a right side of the front three, just killing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure who won man of the match in the Chelsea City game, but you could have literally picked any player from City.
Yeah.
Not Ederson because he didn't do anything, but
like most games.
You could have literally picked anyone from that starting lineup and like just given it to them. Like they played a hands down like outstanding match. You have to give credit when credit's due.
Absolutely.
And the fact that I was so frustrated for almost 90 minutes.
You don't say.
That's credit to City and how well Pep got the boys ready for that one against Chelsea.
Yeah. They got a big match on Tuesday against PSG in the Champions League.
Yeah, we'll do Champions League. We'll do a Champions League wrap at the end here. Just 2 more games to maybe get to. Leicester and Burnley. We just talked Leicester because they have been top 5 side the last couple seasons. Clearly this year that's not the case. Sitting down in 13th. They've had some matches of late go against them, coming off a draw and 2 losses. I don't know what's going on for Brendan Rodgers here and the boys, but they're just not performing well.
Yeah, I don't think their previous matches have been anything crazy. Like they haven't played, one of the big sides yet, I don't believe. So that's what's more worrisome. They're just dropping points against, Brighton, I guess.
They lost to
Michael top of the table, so that's a different story.
They lost to City, in September.
Yeah, City in September.
Early September.
Drop points to West Ham, who's also doing well. That's what I mean. That's what I was saying to Santa. Like, it's so competitive this year. You look at the top. Oh, they lost to Chelsea as well. But you look at the top 13 teams.
13.
And it's just all, maybe, Watford
Yeah.
maybe not so much. Villa.
Well, I just go to top 8.
Yeah.
The top 8 separated by 4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very tight.
Like you go to Villa you go to West Ham in 7th, and they're 1 win away from being the top.
Yeah.
In 7th place, and there's a whole slew of teams
Mm-hmm.
in that area between them.
Yeah.
Um,
It's always exciting to see how much the table changes
huge.
early in the season.
and I mean, like, what a positive result for Burnley too, coming against City or coming against Leicester. They're definitely been a bottom feeder side, to say the least.
Yeah, right above Norwich, who's having worst case scenario happen.
When you're right above Norwich, and that's how you're described, you're not doing very well.
No.
When Norwich is 0-6.
And 2 goals for, 16 against.
Yeah.
Nothing but losses in 6 games.
I mean, Burnley basically doubled their goal scoring for the whole season in this match by scoring only 2 goals.
Right.
So that just has to go. That just shows how not well they're doing this season. But
yeah.
to go to the King Power and come up with a positive result like that, and almost snatching a late winner at the end, ruled out to VAR, which was actually correct.
Yeah, this
time
VAR
I
got it
say
right.
I can't say anything about VAR this week.
No crazy VAR stories this week, which is good to see.
But no, good for Burnley. I mean, they're one of those sides that when they play at home at Turf Moor, they're always going to play you aggressive.
Right.
And the crowd behind them is like huge for their team. Obviously, not picking up a win this season is not the best thing that they want going for them, but there's tons of season left, and again, like looking at the relegation battle, kind of same thing at the top. From 20 to 14th, it's only separated by 6 points.
Right.
I mean, I say 20th, which is Norwich. Let's get Norwich out of there. From 19th to 14th is only separated by 4 points. So, I mean, any of these bottom sides can just like get 1 win, and then you're, 3 points, 4 points clear of relegation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work to be done. I think Leicester, now with the standards they set, they want to finish in Champions League. It's looking very tough with how well everyone's playing.
Yeah, they got to climb back. They got to crawl back, actually.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a tough season for them. I don't really see them getting into Champions League with their performances so far and how well everyone else is doing. But can't ever rule them out, especially this early in the season. But with Burnley at the bottom, obviously really early to say about relegation because it's really a scrap till the end of the season. They just got to turn it around. I'm a little surprised to see Leeds down there. Just because of, how well they play their games and really kind of the heart they bring to all their games and the fans they have. I'm rooting for them to stay in just because I really enjoy watching them play.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's going to be tough and you just got to pick up some wins and get some momentum going.
Yeah. To be fair, they haven't had the easiest start, but they played Man U, Everton, Liverpool, West Ham as well, who's apparently West Ham's top 2.
We gotta start talking about West Ham being like a top side the way they're playing.
I mean, they have David Moyes. He's no stranger to taking the team, hanging around the top. How many times did Everton finish just outside?
Yeah, those Everton days.
those were the days.
And they have Mikel Antonio.
Yeah. There you go.
My new favorite player.
West Ham fan, Mikel Antonio jersey coming up next. Here we go.
I don't know. Don't tempt me. They don't have a jersey, but I'll get a Hammers tee.
Get a third kit, and it might be like a shirt.
If I get a third kit for West Ham, it's probably going to be some like weird lime green color.
I actually don't know what
I'm not a big fan of the third kit sometimes. Like,
I feel like it's more of like
so hit or miss.
Oh, there's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, the black one.
Yeah, it almost looks exactly like City's.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
it's like the home
same
kit,
color.
black.
Yeah, Cities has I don't know.
You can get a real hit or miss third kit.
You can.
I mean, there's a couple of ones that Chelsea have had in the past where I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
They make it, I think, so it's so in the event they really need a different color than
well, Chelsea's blue and white. That's what Chelsea is, but they rock the yellow sometimes. They've done like a red dominant one almost before. They've seen like orange with Chelsea. I'm like, what is going on here? Not my cup of tea when you go that far away from the the tradition. I mean, I know they got to mix it up a little bit just to be completely different,
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen Juventus's jersey this year? Their away jersey?
I have not.
No.
I'll look it up. I'll show you right now. It's a howler, man.
Looking up jerseys here.
I mean, we could spend a whole 2 hours on doing this.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
yes, I have seen this.
That's
That is
pretty bad.
crazy.
For everyone listening, look up
Whoa.
Juventus
So
third
Third
ugly.
jersey.
kit. Is that their what's 4XE? Is that on the other jerseys?
I think it's like a 4x4. Or not 4x.
That doesn't look
G,
like a
4
4.
by 4.
It's their third kit. I thought it was their actual away jersey.
What is
It
a
almost
4XE?
looks like a F1 like.
I mean, if that was an
Thing.
F1 jersey, that
Driver
would
suit.
actually be pretty sweet. But it's
Yeah,
not.
No, that's a soccer kit.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan either.
I mean, I get it, trying to be all outside the box and different. I mean, their away kit's not that bad.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, you just gotta go like neutral color here. Like that's fine. That's actually very nice.
Yeah, what is? I don't know what 4XE is yet. One sec.
I think it's just like I think they're promoting like some Jeep brand because Jeep's their
4XE.
title sponsor.
Jeep. We'll
But
see.
yeah, that is.
But
something
it doesn't
else.
really like the 4XE doesn't really fit well.
No, the one on, when it's on the the yellow one,
Oh, it's terrible.
it looks. It reminds me of something from Sega Saturn or something.
Oh,
it's something straight out of
Yeah.
the 90s.
Oh, it's a
like
type of Jeep Wrangler, I think.
yeah. Even this one, like from last season, like the orange, like camo or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
City, when City had the City like germ jersey, do you see their pink one?
oh yeah, the pink
Yeah,
jerseys.
those are nice. Even Leicester had a pink jersey that were kind of nice.
Yeah,
actually,
Those
too.
were interesting, but they were actually pretty sweet.
Man, I can go on Jersey Talk for
I know.
days.
Honestly, well, especially with I feel like the bigger clubs.
That's the Chelsea one you're looking at.
Yeah,
That
like,
one
they
is
try and
nuts.
get like super extreme. Like I go back to Leeds. I think Leeds have the nicest white kits in the league.
It's just clean.
very clean.
Yeah.
like, very nice.
That's what I liked about the Polonia white jerseys. They were just white. They were awesome.
I think I have that
Shout
hanging
out
in the
to
back
Polonia.
over
They were
here.
awesome
Yeah.
back in the Polonia days.
Polonia, what, 2018, boys? 2017?
Yeah,
What was
glory
it?
days of
Oh.
Polonia
Mm-hmm.
That's one to talk about.
winning Windsor District Soccer League
These were
forever.
these ones were nuts.
Which one's Joe?
The when City had the pink ones with like the
Oh, right.
bacteria in the
The
background.
bacteria.
Well, I don't know.
Let me see.
uh,
Show me, Peter.
This one.
Right, I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that.
I don't know if anyone here remembers, but what was it?
What year is that from?
2020 to 21 Paisley
Last season.
Paisley third kit.
It's last season.
Yeah.
They probably didn't rock those very much.
I mean, they're not
Last
brutal.
season,
It's just you look closely at it.
Yeah, and it's just
I'm not
very
entirely
interesting.
sure what.
Yeah, but we could go on for Jersey Talk
Yeah,
for forever.
yeah.
We're
Can
gonna
we
go
be,
down.
that might be like a separate,
We're just
separate podcast or something. Like a episode 7.5 or something like that.
Episode 7.3.
Just in
Our
case
jerseys.
anyone. Last thing we're gonna say on Jersey, just in case what I just found out, Paisley's actually like a type.
It's a design.
It's a type of design.
Yeah. It's on like scarves and stuff.
Did not know
Scarves and yeah.
that. All right,
I know Paisley.
I'll buy it.
Paisley ties.
It's actually pretty cool. But
I think I got a Paisley tie or two in the closet there.
new discovery.
Last match. We always save them to the end. No matter who they're playing, no matter what the result is.
We always got a story for them.
Arsenal, Tottenham,
Arsenal,
London Derby, the big one.
Good
Arsenal
news.
come away 3-1.
Oh
I
my
mean, I
gosh.
texted the boys earlier. I said, no tripping Arsenal on this podcast tonight. Might be the first.
No, they looked
Dominant.
They looked very good. You would not have guessed the season they've had so far from this game.
Yeah.
They look like kind of the Arsenal of old here.
Mhm.
I mean, Saka was playing really well. Good to see
Just-
his confidence back up after Europe, but yeah, they looked really well going forward. They scored in the 13th minute here, and from there they just started creating chances, and they were just really positive going forward.
Yeah, it's just very strange. Like Tottenham just feel like they're missing that spark. Obviously with Kane, they're as much as he came out and said, I'm here, I'm committed, whatever it might be. You can just tell there's that spark missing.
Yeah,
One from him, and two, they're just missing something in the middle of the field. They have no creativity whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost one of those things where you're missing Eriksson.
Oh, I was just gonna say
that link up play.
They need an Eriksson.
They didn't fill that role.
They didn't
No,
fill that
But
role.
they didn't replace it.
I mean, Holbier, he's been impressive since he's been at Tottenham, but he's not your player.
You know, he's more the workhorse in the middle. Like he's not going to
Yeah.
see a 40-yard through pass probably. in
Yeah,
between
he's like
four
a-
defenders, you know.
He's like a Kovacic, or I
Yeah.
always just refer things back to Chelsea. That's what I know the most
No,
about.
he is exactly.
He's like a Kovacic. I wouldn't say he's in N'Golo Conte level because I think Conte is
Conte's his own level.
just
His
his own thing. But he plays that kind of way. Like
Right.
he's an aggressive body, defensive minded.
Yeah.
He can strike one, which is he doesn't do very often, but he can hit one pretty good.
Yeah.
When he has the chance. But you're not looking to him to play, like you said, like a 40-yard ball through the middle or
Right.
go on a darting run
Mm-hmm.
and beat a couple players. I know Son is that kind of player for Tottenham, but he doesn't come to the middle very often. He plays
No.
so wide. Like he hugs the line.
Yeah, he wants to use his pace and run at defenders because he does it really well, right?
Exactly, but it's just unfortunate because that style of player doesn't do very well in the middle of the pitch, but if they give him the opportunity, he can maybe just get on the ball more often and just use his pace to create.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he would lack defensively maybe, or like lack strength in the middle
Yeah.
if you do put him in that spot, but just try something different. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, they did have a few chances. Kane, he had that header that I think you got at least put on target, and he had that chance to just get on that half break he had. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal looked really positive, and it's good to see. So they're out of the bottom with three wins in a row, bringing them the ninth place,
seriously.
and they are above Tottenham with this win.
I mean, did we see this coming?
I did not.
Like for the amount that we've talked Arsenal in this pod, and like for the amount that we've
Ooh,
criticized
that was
them.
a crazy save.
Yeah, Rams still at the end there.
Pumped up here.
Yeah, Rams was a sick keeper, man. He's gonna be one to watch for them.
Yeah.
Like he's a player that I could see just being there for like a long time.
What a save!
It's like really solid for them.
Mhm.
It's got a lot of potential.
But yeah, like I was trying to say, for the amount that we've criticized Arsenal on this pod, and for the amount that we've like not shown any confidence in them, and saying how they had to rebuild and they're not going to get any positive results, they've shut us up the last 2 weeks. I know their last game was against Norwich, which was like
Yeah.
which
it's Norwich.
at the time it was a very bottom of the table.
It was a huge relegation battle last time we talked about Arsenal
Yeah.
positively.
You know,
But
they got a decent
this
manager.
game, man, they turned it on its head.
Yeah. And they were favorites going in to this game, which I thought was interesting. And it goes to show that they still got something to prove, especially in the derby. It will be interesting to see how they take this win going forward. This is massive for them. And Aubameyang got to start. He got a goal, which he's probably the happiest player on the planet right now.
Yeah, he played really well this game.
Yeah.
Like we said before, a player like him, you know exactly what you're getting, and it
Right.
all just comes down to service. Like if you're able to provide a ball to these players, like Saka had probably his best game of the season.
Yep.
Like clearly he scored. I picked up an assist on the Smith Rowe goal, I believe.
Yep.
And like I said, scoring himself is huge for his confidence. But if you give him the opportunity to go forward and create, I mean, he's a player who, again, is like looking to build confidence. He's looking to make his impact and make himself known in the side. I think he's going to be, I mean, he's already number 7
Yeah.
for their squad. He's already rocking kit number 7. So he's going to be there for a long time. He's a player who I feel like is comparable to Sancho, maybe, in a United perspective, where it's like he comes to the side, he's highly touted, young enough to still be able to be a youthful presence, but he's playing for the national side now too, so he's gaining some confidence that way.
Yeah.
But he's given the opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal is not
minutes.
United,
Yeah.
clearly, and the same position is being fulfilled by Mason Greenwood when it comes to United.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you give these players a chance to perform, I mean, they can surprise you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that's, he's got his first goal. That's going to be huge for his confidence. The longer a player like Sancho goes without playing and the longer he goes without scoring a goal, it's just going to completely backfire. It's not going to be successful.
I'm not even a United fan, and it hurts me to watch.
I know.
Because like every single game I tune in, did Sancho play? Did Sancho play? Sancho play? Because I'm a Sancho fan.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's just wasting away on the bench, man.
You have to just, like Santos said, toss him into the fire.
Yeah.
Let him, you can't put a player like that on the field. It's like, oh, he made a mistake, let's take him out. You know how many mistakes United players mess up, especially in big games? You have to toss him in the fire. Let the team, pick him up and build around him, kind of help with his development, but sticking him on the bench and putting him in FA Cup games and Champions League or those kind of games, waiting for him to just go to an 11 out of 10 so that he can make the first team. It's not really how it works.
Yeah, I'm not saying to start him in the United,
I know,
in Manchester Derby or anything, but I mean, give him some time to actually
start him for a game,
make an appearance here.
I don't even know who they're playing against next.
United?
Yeah. I mean, start him against whoever it might be. Give him 60 minutes and see what happens.
Let's see, United has... Didn't we just talk about it? Didn't we just say who they
Yeah, they got Everton.
Yeah.
Everton. That's a game that he could play.
It's going to be a big game. That's the kind of... Like, go back to Pep. That's a game he would start Mahrez or Foden or Cancelo when they first get here. Hey, it's a big game. Nothing's going to get you ready then.
Yeah.
Going to this big game.
I mean, they do have Champions League midweek, so he might make an appearance there.
Mm-hmm.
But like we said before, like they've already lost their first match in their group stage.
They have to win this one.
Coming back, you kind of have to start, picking up the points here.
Yep.
I was going to mention before when we were talking about Leicester actually and how far they were down the table already. I think it's funny when people always say like, "Oh, it's only beginning of the season." Like it's not the points. It's not the points don't matter, but they say, "Oh, it's just the beginning of the season." Like.
Mm-hmm.
We're only 6 points off. These beginning of the season games are so big.
Yeah.
Because it gives you the opportunity to maybe drop points at the end of the season. Because you don't know how the year's going to go.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea how injuries are going to go, loss of form is going to go. I mean, the further you progress into tournaments, the more games you play, and the more you have to player manage and slot guys in different positions for different matches. So it's like if you can rally off like 10 wins in the first 13, 14 games or something, whatever it is, that's huge.
Yeah, and it's
like the season. It gives you that cushion.
Yeah, and it gives you like solid momentum going forward, and you have something to work off of because it's obviously better to start good than bad. Mm-hmm. But I do think maybe sometimes you have fans with their clubs hide behind the like, oh, it's early in the season, which it is true. But it's still really important. Yeah. I mean, you want to start off as well as you can. So you got to treat every game like it's a must-win, really, because every game is a must-win.
Yeah, big time. And especially now when it comes to Champions League, in United's case, they have to start picking up the victories. Looking into the European Cup this week from the English contingent.
All right, got some
the
doozies.
Big one here, PSG and Man City
on
Tuesday. Liverpool and Porto on Tuesday. And then we got Chelsea, Juve on Wednesday, and United and Villarreal on Wednesday. Where do you guys want to hit first?
Well, PSG game has been touted about for a while, especially with the big moves to PSG. Mm-hmm. We'll see how Messi shows up against City with all the rumors about him going to City. I don't know how much of that was actually true when all the transfer talk was going on. But we'll see how he copes with City, who's in top form right now.
I think City is going to win this game. I would say, I think it's, like I said at the beginning of the season, it's going to be very tough for these, group of high signings to get along. I know they're professionals. They can probably do it. But,
I'm pumped to see Donnarumma in net.
He's not playing.
Oh, he's not playing?
He hasn't played much.
What?
Yeah.
I just got he's been on the bench.
Yeah, I just got a text from an unnamed source saying that Donnarumma is barely playing, and it's been Keylor Navas in net instead. I don't even know if he's made an appearance yet.
Very strange.
Big money transfer for him, and like
that's what I mean. When you really gotta fit that. I know Pochettino's a good coach, so we'll see. Did Messi? Is Messi hurt?
He hasn't played. Yeah, he hasn't played on the weekend, I believe. So I think Verratti and Messi have both been out the last game or so, maybe the last couple of weeks, but they both have returned to training ahead of the game against City for this week.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully they make an appearance. Obviously, that's what we tune in for.
Yeah.
Let's see how PSG is doing in the table.
Oh, they're 8 wins. I mean, that's the thing, besides last year,
they're clear and far away.
When they didn't even, I don't even think they won last year.
No, they didn't. Lille won last year.
Won.
And Lille's not even close to the top of the table right now. PSG is 8-0 to start the season in Ligue 1. 22 goals for, 7 against. 9 points
solid.
ahead, already second place. So, I mean, clearly the Messi effect and the Sergio Ramos effect.
Yeah, probably more so the Messi effect.
And who else they got?
Well, I don't think Messi's even scored.
They got Wijnaldum.
Messi hasn't even scored
Wijnaldum,
yet.
yeah. Hakimi from Inter.
Yeah.
I don't even...
That was the 5.
Jesus.
Five
Messi-
Fab 5 signings for PSG.
Has
in the
Messi
offseason.
scored yet for PSG? I don't think so.
I
I don't think he has. I saw Jeff, Messi score 4 games, 0 goals. Ronaldo 4 games, 3 goals.
Oh, who's better? Who's the GOAT?
Yeah, who's the actual GOAT, which will...
Well, I mean, PSG's got 4 of the guys that can
Yeah.
snipe for them, so...
We'll see. I still think City's going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, PSG at home, it's not really... They tied Club Brugge. Great.
Next match is Porto-Liverpool. In Porto. Liverpool coming off that big win against Milan week 1, or round 1, I guess, of the groups.
Mm-hmm.
Tighter game than we all thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
With Liverpool Milan. But, I mean...
I'm going to go with the draw on this one.
You still got to find a way to win.
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the draw on this one.
Really?
They're going to draw.
Yeah, I mean, they tied Atletico. They're in Porto. Liverpool wasn't that convincing against AC. They obviously played well, but, I don't know. I'm going with the draw.
And Porto's coming off a Champions semifinal, too.
Yeah.
Against Chelsea. So,
Mm-hmm.
they have the pedigree. I mean, they have the experience now, I guess, in European competition. That's the thing too, man. It's like it's such different play
Mm-hmm.
Right.
than they're just playing a Premier League match or playing like your regular season match.
Yeah.
When you're in Europa League or when you're in Champions League, it's almost like the tactics kind of go to waste from whatever you just did previous, and then it's a completely new game plan, depending on who you're playing or whatever the circumstances are.
I mean, sometimes it's, teams and stadiums sometimes you've never been to before. Completely foreign ground.
It's very new.
Very tough.
Yes, we'll see how Liverpool, or which Liverpool shows up to this game.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like Liverpool's depth isn't as good as other Premier League sides.
Yeah.
Because,
Mhm.
I mean, like the way that they play with the top 3 of either Firmino, Mane, or Salah, one of those 3 or almost like 2 of those 3 guys still make it into the side.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you can't replace 3 or 3. For these off matches, for an off Premier League match.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised actually, like for match day 1 of this tournament, that so many sides did play their top guns. Like there's a lot of guys that started that I didn't think were going to start.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think Ronaldo was going to start against Young Boys.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool came out with Mane and Salah in the first match against Milan. And even Chelsea, like Lukaku started, and Mason Mount, and like all the big guys, Azpilicueta. Like I was kind of surprised, like seeing that it was week 1. I keep changing what it's called, match day 1, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Seeing that it was just match day 1, I was kind of surprised to see all these high profile guys still making starts this early in the season, because like they've already played so much.
Yeah.
And even like having an international break, everyone who's playing in Champions League is most than likely playing
Yeah, they're playing
during the international break.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't had a week off yet since August.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So I was kind of surprised that so many high-profile players were making the starts for their sides in Champions League. We'll see if it happens again.
Yeah.
Obviously, game 1 is huge just to get momentum going and like get some points solidified for your side. But I feel like match 2 is like kind of the make or break of how you're going to go. Because if you did drop points, then you got to play that extra hard. If you did win, then maybe you get more complacent and you're playing against like a lower size. So you kind of might take the night off a little bit.
Yeah.
And adjust how you play. You might lose or you might draw. Another side can come in and like jump you and everything. It's like that. So, I mean, that's why we love these. That's why we love the sport. That's why we love these tournaments.
Yeah, tournament style.
And I mean, it gives the opportunity for, aside from Moldova to come in and, get a positive result against you, or aside from, Croatia or Liechtenstein. I don't even know what the hell's going on.
Banking on what's that team? Sheriff? They're playing Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That's huge.
See if they get a result.
Where's that game at?
Real.
At Real.
At Real. Man, for those players, whoever thought, like, aside from Moldova is going to go play at the...
Is that where they're from?
Yeah.
Where's Sheriff from?
It's Moldova.
I love how they're called Sheriff.
Where'd it go?
And they have a Sheriff starter on one.
Well, what else are you going to put there, Joe?
I don't know.
A picture of a whale?
No, it's awesome.
Look at this last game they won. They won 7-0. This team's on fire.
Dynamo Otto, no...
Not very
no
good.
symbol. Which team? Moldova. They are from Moldova.
That's what I said.
They're third place right now. I love how... Go back to the table.
Moldova coming off a huge win, 7-0 against Dynamo Otto.
Yeah.
Coming off a 4-0 win against Floresti.
Yeah. And then Zimbru.
And then they beat Shakhtar, too, in match day 1
there you
of
go.
Champions League. So, I mean, Sheriff is nothing to laugh at there, Joe.
I'm not saying. They're great.
I think I'm just laughing at the fact that most of the teams in the Moldovan League don't have like a team crest.
They don't have a team crest, and then Sheriff just has the best team crest.
Sheriff's not even the first place team in the Moldova League.
There's only
8 teams. This is like senior men's Premier Division.
I can't get over the fact that they're the only team.
Got a spread between playing 8 and playing 12 so far in the Moldovan League here.
That's wicked. I've heard of this team before.
I have Elfsborg.
Are they Swedish?
Elfsborg.
They're Swedish. I've heard of Elfsborg before. I think they've made Europa or Champions League before. I've seen that crest and that name.
Okay.
Elfsborg.
Guys, tune in next week when we break down the Moldova
national
division.
all 8 teams here.
All 8 teams.
Oh, Flarshy's
We're each going to take
very poor.
3 teams. Well, each going to take 2 teams, and then I'll take an extra. And we're going to break down the Moldovan division.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Sheriff.
Yeah, like I said, that's why we love these tournaments. I mean, there's like these sides out of nowhere can just come in, make an impact, make a name for themselves. And you got Moldova, you got Sheriff playing against Real Madrid.
I hope
at the Bernabeu. So
just the scenes if they win, that'd be amazing.
First place Sheriff, I might add, in this Champions League group.
Yeah, I mean they beat Shakhtar.
He's been around.
He's been around. They've been there.
Next game on Wednesday, Juve and Chelsea, the Iorio House Derby.
Yeah. Wear the jersey. Your dad's going to wear his.
I think given the way Juventus have been playing, Chelsea's is going to win this
Could
one.
be a very comfortable win.
Yeah, I'm going with like 2-0 Chelsea win.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, Juve is coming off 2 wins.
2 wins and a draw. A draw against Milan, which was pretty big for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a Champions League win against Malmo, which I think you would expect them to win.
Right.
But yeah, not the best of seasons for Juve so far, but getting a little bit of momentum here at the end of September. So we'll see. But Chelsea is going to be one of the biggest tests that they've had in their last few games.
The one thing I will say though is I'm pretty sure Juve's defense could shut down Lukaku the same way City did, and without that, I think Chelsea could struggle.
Well, we've seen it happen before, just recently in the European Cup with Italy playing against Belgium.
Yeah, nothing.
Right, you had Kylian Bonucci shut down Lukaku.
Yeah.
He had a few chances, but Donnarumma was obviously there to prevent them from going in. But I feel like as a whole, Chelsea is better than Juve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, defensively, like you do have like, two towers in the back that have, legendary players have been around since I can remember. But as a whole, defensively, midfield, attack, I think Chelsea is like far and ahead above Juve.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say Juventus is in like a rebuilding stage, but even when they had Ronaldo the last couple seasons, they didn't have that extra like oomph going forward, or they didn't have like that extra. They didn't have that extra like, just attack, or they didn't have the extra player. Everything was filtered through Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the numbers show, they show like exactly what I'm talking about. Like last season, he either scored or contributed in like 29 goals for Juve, just in the Serie A.
Yeah.
The next closest was like 6.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you don't fill that void, and clearly like this season they've started off a little slow.
Yeah.
In Serie A, they've dropped 2 games already. Yes, they've won 2, but I mean it was against Spezia and Sampdoria, which are games they expect to win. And then coming off the Milan draw, that might have been the momentum that they need going forward to kind of excel them and push them a little bit further into Serie A.
Mm-hmm.
But we were just talking about it with Leicester City. They've already dropped points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where are they at? They're in 9th place. They're already 10 points back from Napoli. In first, they're already 8 points back from Milan. Like once you go down, it's so much harder to climb.
Yeah.
And
Totally agree.
You've seen it so many times. Like when is the last time you saw a team crawl up from 10 points?
Yeah.
To win a title,
Very tough.
or to even get in Europa League or Champions League.
You have to win all your big games.
Yeah.
You have to win every single one of those.
I mean, it's tough. Like City last year, they had a terrible start.
Yeah.
And they just crawled back after Christmas. But
last year was like the biggest outlier possible because that was COVID.
yeah, and that's
Like
the
that
thing.
was like that affected so many different things.
Yeah. I don't know if they would have won if it wasn't for COVID. It might have been tough.
Yeah, like all the different matches that took place and all the different players that dropped because of injury or dropped because of actual coming in contact with COVID. I mean, like I think City got away pretty good for the most part. Obviously, everyone kind of handled it differently, and like within their own camp of how they dealt with COVID and what they could do. But I mean, City last year, yeah, clearly they rose above everybody else, and they were able to come out from the Christmas break and just excel in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
But in a non-COVID year, when everything's kind of back to normal, a 10-point
yeah.
gap from 9th to 1st is a 10-point gap from 9th to 1st.
Yeah, I really don't see that happening with Juve, especially because, like you said, they don't have that person that can fill that void of Ronaldo and get you goals and really deliver week in and week out.
And we just kind of commented on the defense maybe preventing Lukaku from doing anything. They've given up 10 goals this season already.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bottom 5 or bottom 6 in goals against so far this year. So, I mean, clearly they're not the Juve that we are accustomed to
Not
seeing.
the whole Juve.
Where they score like 80 goals and give up 7. So,
Yeah.
Clearly they can score. Or you can score against this side. I think Chelsea are going to really have to bounce back here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tuchel put out a more attacking and aggressive lineup, because I don't think that Chelsea has to defend as hard as they did against City in this match against Juve.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like Dybala is actually not playing this match. I just saw that earlier. Dybala picked up an injury last game against Sampdoria, so he's going to be out. But then you have Morata and Chiesa. I'm not even sure if like Weston McKennie is playing or not. He's like another attacking player for Juve. But these aren't names that you're scared of.
Yeah.
Everyone else on Juve is kind of more of like, or Moise Keane's actually there still. He's came back to Juve from Everton. But, I mean, he's not a player that you read that name and you get scared.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Morata's really going to have to step up and, try and do what Ronaldo would have done. They were playing Chelsea and, try and find a way to score. But I think it's going to be really tough for them.
Yeah,
to be
I think
honest.
it's going to be more like I know Juventus at home. I think it's going to be more Chelsea dominating possession. Juve, not sure what their game plan is. They might soak up pressure and try and get them on the counter, but we'll see. But it's going to be very, very tough.
The last match that involves an English side is United Villarreal. Both teams dropping points in their first match. Villarreal coming away with the draw against Atalanta, 2-2 draw. And United clearly with that last 90th minute goal against Young Boys really put them behind the 8 ball here going into the second game of the group stage here.
Yeah.
Match to be played at Old Trafford.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, this is a huge game for them. Obviously, losing your first game, you don't want to do that.
No. Especially when it's
Young
a
boys.
game you would have expected to
Yeah,
win.
that's against. I mean, we came out, the first week of the podcast. I think we kind of broke down some of the Champions League games, and we said that Young Boys would probably be the bottom feeder of this group.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they went 0-6, or
Yeah.
picked up a draw here and there. But for them, coming away with a huge win against arguably the biggest
Yeah.
name of the group.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to be big for their confidence. So they got this game against Atalanta coming up as well. So it's probably in Italy. Yeah, it's in Italy. So, I mean, they won't have the huge home crowd behind them like they did in the first game against United. But from the Red Devils standpoint, this is a must-win.
Yeah,
That-
absolutely.
they won't get out of this group. I don't think if they don't win this game.
Whew.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
we
What
bottom
'cause
of the table if they
if
lose.
you lose to VR, like you lose 2 games in the group stage, very tough. And then you're gonna go to Atlanta. You got to play them, head to head. Very tough. Very tough. Yeah, like I said, I don't think. To be honest, I really just don't even think Man U is going to come out of this group.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So those are the midweek matches. Coming back right away, we have the EPL on the weekend. Early morning game on Saturday, United Everton. Another good one.
History in that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Back to the days of Sir Alex and David Moyes.
Yeah, man. David Moyes brought that Everton team like from nothing.
Yeah.
Like I knew who
Great.
Everton was, but like I mean, they had Fellaini playing striker,
Yeah.
and he was like scoring goals,
The
man.
days of Everton with Fellaini.
Aaron Lennon,
Oh, yeah.
Pinar. Remember Pinar? He was like the South African. So sick. He was so good.
Oh, yeah.
That's a David Moyes special right there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the early game on Saturday. Chelsea and Southampton later on that day. And then Arsenal and Brighton. I mean, that could be a good match too.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton, let's just drop a little hint for Brighton. They play tomorrow against Crystal Palace. If they win that game, they're top of the table.
The beach. We thought.
Who would have
the
thought
table. Yeah, so we'll see. See what the table looks like Tuesday morning.
It would be
Monday
amazing.
late, but
Amazing to see a team like Brighton in Champions League. That'd be,
Can you imagine that, man?
oh
I
man,
mean, that's going to be hard for them to sustain that for the whole season, but
never know.
that'd be crazy.
Ever since the Leicester era, nothing's impossible.
yeah.
So that's the Saturday schedule. Moving on to Sunday, we got Tottenham, Aston Villa. That's a great game. West Ham, Brentford. That's actually a good game to look at too.
Banger.
Man, this is actually a really good schedule. Palace and City. I'm a
Yeah,
huge
Leicester.
Palace fan recently. Just like love the way that they play. I think Vieira is turning that team around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I had that game tomorrow against Brighton, so we don't know how it's going to turn out. But if they can come away with a win there, I mean, they'll be neck and neck with Leicester City, so that actually would be a huge game. And then, arguably, again,
Game of the weekend.
biggest match of the season. City just came off the biggest match of the season, came in with the victory, going on to the next biggest match of the season.
Next biggest match of the season.
Back to
Liverpool
back,
away.
Liverpool and City. That's the Sunday game.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Man,
very
at
big.
Anfield.
Mm-hmm.
Massive game.
That's gonna be a huge one to tune into. I think this match here has more firepower than the Chelsea game. Like clearly, I was
Yeah.
more invested in the Chelsea City match because
Mm-hmm.
of where my heart goes.
Yeah.
But I think this match here has all the tellings of fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for the Chelsea City game to go 1-0 in City's direction and still be entertaining, this game here can go 4-3
Yeah.
anyway.
There's always something when Liverpool plays City, especially in the last few seasons. So it's gonna be super exciting. Definitely gonna be sure to not look at my Instagram like with the Chelsea City game to see the score. Gonna keep it on wraps.
And talk about like managerial rivals too, like Klopp and Pep.
I know you got
They just bash heads. Like I love it.
two iconic signings for the whole EPL
going back
game.
to the Bundesliga, I think.
Yeah, and it's always going to be exciting. We'll see how the teams line up, and it's going to be very, very exciting.
Yeah, expect some fireworks in this game for sure.
Waiting for another. Going back to Alexander-Arnold handball.
Yeah, hopefully there's no VAR.
No
drama.
VAR drama.
No,
That's all I.
we want a
all
VAR
I-
clean, VAR free match.
Yeah.
This one. It's probably going to be Mike.
I
Dean.
do-
Yeah, I know.
Now that we say that,
it's going to be Mike Dean's going to be the ref for
now that you
sure.
say that, I'm getting the feeling there's going to be some, nonsense going on.
I hope it's Michael Oliver. Michael Oliver's
Or
a good
no,
referee.
no,
It's
sorry,
gonna be
no,
what-
yeah,
it has to be.
Michael Oliver. That's what I meant, Michael Oliver. 'Cause he gets all the big matches.
Swear to God, if I see
It won't be Mike D.
Mike Dean's bald head, I swear to God. You guys got anything else to add here?
No,
No.
That's it.
Well, I guess to close this out, I think I'm going to go with a City win
against Liverpool.
in this one.
I mean, either whatever you say, like, is gonna
I know it could
happen,
Means,
like-
means nothing.
from a Chelsea perspective, I want to draw.
Oh,
Of
draw
course
would be
you want
great
to
for
draw.
Chelsea.
But
You want
I,
every team to draw every match.
Yeah.
man, I could see like a draw with controversy somehow.
Draw with controversy. I like it. Those honestly, this season, like I was telling Santo, it's particularly competitive. Just like West Ham, Brighton out of nowhere, Brentford, they're all giving it to these top teams. But then just Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, they're just so
Consistent right now.
strong right now.
Yeah.
They all look so deadly right now.
And like looking at the table, it's like that although it is 3 points from 1st to 7th, it's not going to finish that way.
No.
No.
Like
Okay.
take your pick at whenever it's going to happen, but you're going to have 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 teams just pull away and separate.
Yeah.
And make it a 4-horse race, make it a 2-horse race coming down the stretch. So we do love the competitive value that's here right now,
Mhm.
but I think we have to count our chickens right now because it's gonna get crazy later on. I mean,
I
it's gonna
think-
be like just we're gonna separate the contenders and the pretenders
Yeah.
probably on Christmas break.
Yeah. I think it will obviously be a 3, like Liverpool, City, and Chelsea. I don't see one of them kiboshing their season. So it'll be a 3-horse race for the title. I think the last Champions League spot,
Up for grabs.
I think so. I'm not sure Man U has it on lockdown, to be honest. And I don't think Arsenal and Tottenham, well, we'll see what happens around Christmas, but a Brentford or West Ham or Brighton even, if they keep going like this,
Brighton Europa would be nice too, though.
yeah, that could be something.
First appearance in Europe for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, even Everton. Like, I love how there's like the one side for Europa League too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how in Champions League though, if you finish 4th, is it 4th or 3rd?
I think it's third.
Third, yeah, that makes more sense. You finish 3rd, you get to go to Europa League.
Yeah.
I don't like that. You already had your shot.
Yeah,
in
you
Europe.
had your
Yeah.
shot in Champions League.
I agree with that.
Like, you already
actually.
played 6 matches in
You
Champions League. Then
just
you just get
lost
to
it.
go to Europa League. Like,
Yeah,
that's not cool.
yeah. I don't know about that.
'Cause I think United have gone through that path a few times and actually won Europa
They
League.
did, yeah.
it's like
You're
what?
being rewarded for finishing 3rd.
Yeah,
That's just another money grab.
yeah,
All right, we all good, boys?
We're good.
yeah.
All right, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to episode 7 of the Footy Fans Podcast. You can catch us on Twitter at footy_fans, PHANS. We also post our podcast up on YouTube. You can search Footy Fans there and give it a listen to whenever you want. And also find us on any podcast platform you have. So for Santo and Joe, I'm Andrew. That is the EPL wrap for this week. and we will tune in next week after all of the week's action.
See you, everyone. See you, everybody.
Ciao.